You know, I've always wondered if we even own the copyright to that song.
No, we don't.
Okay, we don't. That's probably why we keep losing money.
No, actually, it's a free song.
Oh, is it free?
That's how confident they are that we're not going to make any money.
Any money, so it's not that good of a song.
Yeah,
okay.
they're just like, you can have this one.
Is it as good as our logo, though?
No, this is probably the worst one we've had yet.
Okay, this is the worst logo that 20 years of combined experience in media, car industry, Photoshop.
I'm proud.
How old were you when you started taking pictures of cars?
17.
All right, how old are you now?
37.
Okay, so
20
20
years.
years. Wow. 20 years.
20
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. The fact that you actually stole the Aventador without even attempting to create a different car, I think that's copyright infringement.
It is.
Isn't it?
I just think it's so bad that they'll be like, you'll be all right. They'll be like, don't worry about it. We're good.
Okay. Talking about, clowning on our amazing logo. This has been quite an eventful week.
Yes, it has.
Lots of things happening in the world.
So many things happen in the world.
You know, I usually like to start by saying I was right time and time again.
Which time, though? You've been right so many times.
I like hearing I'm right. As a matter of fact, like it's one of my, best qualities with women when I know I'm right. Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah. Makes them really get excited about knowing that I was right. It actually pisses them off more than anything. So TGR bought a Koenigsegg originally, and we called it. We said this car would not be in his supposed car collection.
Well, I
love how they call themselves collectors, like when they're just
sharing the same shit cars.
Tour owners. It's just pass on a fucking car from one day to another.
So it's like, you said 3 months, and I think that we're dead on.
Yeah, I mean, there's like there's a larger issue that people just don't seem to understand in this game. There's two larger components here. So when we say people are renting cars, we don't mean they're renting them as in they're making a rental agreement.
Yeah, no.
Taking a car for a month and then giving it back. They're doing lease deals that just don't make any financial sense because they're expected to keep the car such short term that they understand that they're not going to bleed out the entire term of the lease. So you have to think about it this way. If you put $300K down and then put $50K a month, that might be terrible financial game. You're going to lose $450, but you look at it as $450K over 3 months. The marketing I get, hopefully I'll make much more than the $150. I'll pre-make videos to look like I have this car for the next 10 years. I'll milk the shit out of it and cross promotion. And then it won't make financial sense anymore because its impact will be lost. So I'll just dump the car and sell it. And I'll use an excuse like that, like there's an actual financial reasoning for it and it makes sense to get rid of it and blah, 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 blah bullshit. So they almost like buy the cars, lease them with these really creative fucking financial suicide leases, I call them, but then knowing by when they're going to get rid of the car. So they already have an exit plan at the time they buy the car. And that exit plan is not that I'm going to make some money on the car or I bought the right car. They're basically killing off $500K, $1 million, whatever they can afford to pay each month based on the shit they're pulling out of their asshole to basically pay for it. And then they come up with a very clear messaging, bullshit tagline about what they want to do once they become relevant for that moment. And then they are going to do something else. And they will use the custom tag thing as kind of like the thing that makes it. But there's also this other scam they're running. Some of these tags aren't even registered to the cars they're on. So if you actually look up the tags in a lot of these cases, they don't actually match the car itself. So what that means is that they had a custom tag and they put it on for the photos or this or that. It creates some new validity.
It's not for that car.
Right.
It's
and then there are tags for the cars. The cars are not illegal in nature. They're legally, bought or leased or some of these agreements in these creative leases are so outrageous in fees and cost basis that they have to be called rental agreements, even though they're long-term leases. So what people don't understand that this is a real thing that happens, but this is how we can predict it because it doesn't make financial sense. If someone walks in and pays $3 million for a $2 million car and previously had no history of other cars, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up because that means they didn't progressively get there. They just bought something significantly more expensive and no bank would give them that. So you have to look at that and know right away that it's going to make zero financial sense. So they are not going to be able to support that payment for a long time.
So it's like it's almost like Rent-A-Center.
Yeah, and I mean,
Rent-A-Center for cars.
we saw this for even with Wes Watson's Bugatti, that he couldn't afford anymore. It went to become a mini rental between 14 other influencers all over Miami for at little airports and stuff. They just had it there, and then they put it online for 3.9. I said he would lose $2 million. He paid like, I think, $5 million and change. And then it was listed for $4 million. Nobody wanted to touch it. 3.9, 3.8. They just dropped it to 3.4 and they wrapped it matte black to try to avoid someone remembering that it's fucking orange under. Like, these are just examples of like shady practices. And again, these aren't shady. Like, there's nothing necessarily shady about the car itself. It's a fucking car. But the usage, the ownership, the fact that 14 people use it on social media pretending to own it, it creates this negative stigma for the car. Nobody wants it. So they have to drop it to some low-level dollar, to get rid of it.
And also, it's Wes Watson's car.
Yeah, and also you have a whole bunch of people that don't know how to drive it or inconsistent with it, and so on and so forth. And then the cars basically end up as like cars that nobody wants to touch unless they're so cheap. And so the original buyer of the car just lost like $2 million. Yeah. And we called that too. Like a year ago, we said he'd lose $2 million. He lost $2 million. It's just fucking stupid. Then you have the other imbecile. So we called this beyond. Like, this guy's like the gift that keeps on giving for fucking next level stupid.
You gotta love the clown show.
They say like the next level boss you encounter, this is the next level stupid you encounter. So it's like fucking every single week, this guy does something so retarded that he just comes back validating exactly what we said he was gonna do. Like, it's just like, we said he was scamming, then he gets like he's got all these judgments.
He
and
goes,
all this
I'm not a
shit.
scammer, and then next week
like,
does scammy shit.
Not even, I was like, in 2 years, this guy's going to be somewhere that you don't want to be. And
prison.
2 days later, it's like, oh yeah, we're taking all this shit because he's got like 50 judgments against him. It's like, okay, whatever. So this gift keeps on giving. We called this, literally, I said, I went on and I was like, his page is now talking about making money randomly. So there's a pattern to this. Yeah. The Bugatti shows up. He's irrelevant again. No one's buying the supercar scam. He's been called out. He has judgments against him. There's articles against him. Baller Buster, but I mean, fucking done, right?
He's on super defense.
He's on people leaking his chats. We call this.
No friends.
No friends. So then on top of that, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, there's a reason he wants attention. Like, he's doing this to kind of try to renew, like, look at me, look at me, look at me. So he buys this, or let's say he does a short-term lease, soon-to-be rental on this car. Mm-hmm. And this car randomly shows up, and he starts talking about how he's been able to make money and put some people on it. And suddenly, I was like, I called this on the show. I said, he's going to come out with some kind of bullshit day trading thing or something he's doing in the stock market that's made him some money, and that's why he got the Bugatti and blah, 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 to kind of create a story. So he let the car create a story. We said this was probably what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, the gift that keeps on giving, not even like 3 weeks later, he's like, hey, here's my car again. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to the next stage, which is, okay, I have the car now. You guys have been asking me what to do. I have this crazy thing, this algo that makes you 20%, like we called it, which is, as all real investors know, 20% a month is the minimum expected money out there. That's why every single human on Earth is doubling up their money.
That's why everyone's a
times 3 every year. Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. So I have another really bad feeling about this one, and I have a bad feeling because there were a couple of connecting factors. This dude had a house in the same place Alex G had a house. Mm-hmm. There's another guy in that neighborhood that does Forex trades too.
We know who that is.
Yeah. So I look at these two things and I go, okay, so he's in the same neighborhood doing the same thing. He suddenly got an extra bunch of cash to buy this car, to put some down payment to be able to buy this. And like, again, not a lot for a Bugatti, but something. He overpays for a car. He wants to get attention again, and now he's promoting an algo. So it screams that this is funded on the back end by Alex G. So I'm going to just assume that somehow he's again, this is an assumption.
PJ prediction?
I'm just going to say that somehow this idiot is now joined the Forex scam by now somehow teaming up indirectly with this other guy, Alex G, who recently crashed one of his Bugatti because of shitty driver. And
But he milked the hell out of the. He milked
yeah,
the hell out of that.
again, they're marketers. They're good marketers. This thing with Ty Lopez before he went down was the same thing. They have good capacity for attention.
Mhm.
They just use the attention the wrong way to scam people. But this thing is going to end up bad, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a really, really bad setup for anyone that gets involved in this. Like, this does not. It just does not look good. Like,
Doesn't
what
end
I'm
well.
saying is these offshore forex wannabe broker platforms. They're basically fake surface level software that just makes you feel like you're making money when really they're never investing your money. So it's like a fake Ameriprise where they take your money and they take from Peter, PayPal, bullshit, stuff like that. So, we'll see where this goes for them. But I'm just warning people. I'm telling you, this child is the gift that keeps on giving if you want to get scammed. I called this 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. This is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're thinking or what kind of scam they're going to run now, but I'm just telling you this is a problem.
I'll put my prediction on it. It's gonna be an app or some sort of thing, like you said, 20%. Because what he's saying here is a lot of you guys do not have the time to run your own business or learn how to trade. Meaning he's gonna implement something.
Well, I mean, on the next slide, he said it's an algo. An algo being an algorithm where it's like you pay and it goes in and it just makes you money, but you have to use... The problem with algos, just so you understand, because people don't understand finance and they don't understand why Forex has such a negative kind of trade to it. When you use algos, like algos being like an algorithm that basically makes trades for you, whenever these algorithms make trades for you specifically, they are almost like pretending to like find trades that are to be made, and you're just sitting back and it's doing it for you at a micro speed, so it looks like it's working out. Most real brokerage firms don't accept algos from people because they're basically like a software bug. They just input and they were like this is how I'm going to make my money without doing anything. So in order to use the algo, then these people that make these bullshit algos, they push the audience to a specific broker who will accept the algo.
Okay.
The broker is always overseas.
They're all in on it.
Indirectly, yeah.
Everyone's
So what's the good brokers? They actually pay out because they're in the business of you losing money. All of the forex market is basically based on all the idiots that lose money fuels the few that make it. But most of these brokers aren't there to stay. They're just in temporarily short term because they're not licensed brokers, et cetera. So they're licensed and they set up their shop in countries that don't have really any relevance with the United States, so they can't be prosecuted. And as a result, people just send the money and they see this in their account and they make trades thinking this is the right thing to do, but it doesn't usually end up paying out. And in the long term, the house always wins. So it's like a form of gambling. The problem is where they put their money, though, are these places that like are super risky. But usually, the guys that create these algos and force these brokers to take them are in on the brokerage side too, making their cut off of the referral of the money. So that's why the industry has such a negative quotation, because you're operating in the dark financial markets that are assumption of wins, and it's just a very, very shitty fucking model. So one of the things I've always argued about Forex traders who, like, I've known a lot of very, very successful stock traders, like very successful equity guys, stock guys, even penny stock traders that have made really good money. There are caps to how much money you can make when you play with penny stocks and things like that. Like you get there's only so much of these deals you can take. Forex people are almost the same way. So there's only so many of these bets you can take, or when you're shorting something or really counting for it. But one of the larger problems here that people don't realize is these ulterior places to invest, like penny stocks, etc. They're very different from like the stock market. And it's not normal that people are talking about 20, 30, 40% returns, etc. It's not a consistent capacity. So it's like me saying, if I make like 200K on a watch, well, every watch is going to make me 200K. It's highly unlikely. Doesn't mean that after having been in the industry 20 years, doesn't mean I haven't found a deal where I can make 200K. But generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, it's not the norm.
Yeah.
But if I only advertise that as the norm and I go, do you want to make 200K? Then people's assumptions are this is how money's made and that's what they're coming in for. So this is why the Forex industry is the like ugly stepchild to the finance industry that people don't want to touch is because it just has too many unregulated bullshit, like fake brokers everywhere. Everyone wants to make money quick. And this is also one of the reasons Bitcoin at the beginning had such a terrible reputation, because it wasn't adopted by all of these coin-based or larger organizations. So there was no safety to the transaction, even if there was a cost to it.
FDIC and shit and all that bullshit.
Like, well, yeah, I mean, you don't have FDIC anyways for that, but you have this idea that there's some kind of protection around the actual capacity to trade the asset. So if you send money to an account, even if it's not in Bitcoin, that you're with specifically one of the larger brokerage houses that it allows you to actually save. Like if it says you have 50 grand, they're going to pay out. They're not like taking that money and fucking it and then being like, we ran out of money. Sorry. So this is like the larger issue. This is a very dangerous fucking thing to happen. And I really warn people, if you're even considering this shit, outside of you're retarded, I'm just saying, if you're considering this on any level, just protect yourself and make sure you're not losing your money.
What do you think? Because he's going to get a huge influx of people that are going to just like...
I don't think so. No? I don't think he's going to get an influx of them. I think some people end up just wanting to get scammed because they want to buy into this get-rich bullshit. Like the poor people always stay poor, not because they don't know how to get rich, but because they want to get rich quickly.
Yes.
That's the only difference. Like everybody wants to get rich. That you're poor-minded or that you're poor, like in your wallet, or that they're both there at that moment. Everybody wants to get rich. Nobody wants to live a poverty life. The only difference between the guys that make it and the ones that don't are the commitment level to making it versus the commitment level to making money, which are two significantly different things. So I really, really tell people, if you want to make money, stop trying to find the shortcut to making money and start investing time in actually making money. And you'll see that in a few years, you'll actually make money if you stick to it and get good at it. But most people don't want things in a few years because they see idiots like this post, I'm 27 or whatever with a Bugatti, and they go, oh my God, what am I doing wrong in my life? And these kids, they're born on social media. Like they're not. Our generation wasn't born on social media. We got social media. So understood reality from these kids are born on social media. Their identity is formed on social media. So they assume the identities of people portraying on social media are equally real, and they're not. And that's really dangerous. So,
but even so, like you say that it takes time and like to do it the right way. If you add up the time that they've been scamming people, sometimes it adds up to just if they would have done it right.
Well, so scamming is different because no, it's not. Because when you scam people, you live well from the beginning. Right? So there is no Bugatti at 27 when you're not scamming. Like, and there's no Bugatti at 27 when you didn't start at 17. I'm not saying it's not possible. There are plenty of people who are young who own exotics and hypercars and may do so in a legal way, in a good way, without having any type of judgments against them or anything. But someone who has hundreds of thousands of dollars in judgments and unpaid rent, still going out there using a car instead of paying his debt or his things he owes people, you need to start considering the character flaw.
Yeah.
And the character is what doesn't change in 10 minutes, right? So when you scam, you get paid quickly. And when you get paid quickly, you get to enjoy life while you continue scamming to find ways to continue it. When you're building a real business, you get to spend years prior to like enjoying anything. Like it took me 14 years before I actually bought a house that I actually liked. Yeah. It took me 10 plus years before I bought a really cool car that I thought I could afford to keep. And I was like, this is a nice car and I'm not afraid of the payment or something. But that's not how they think, right? They think about what's the next scam to pay for it. So it gets there. And then well, let's move on past the ugly stepchild that keeps on giving, you know?
Keep it going.
Yeah, so again, there is a reason also to mention TGR is also in trading. Okay. So this is something else to consider, you know, that I think is important. There's a pattern here where it is Timepiece Trading.
TGR.
TPT. TPT responded to our video.
I know they were not happy.
Well, I found this really interesting for a couple of reasons, and I want to share this because they're going to probably watch this, or someone's going to send it to them, and they're going to pretend they're not watching it. Because remember, we have 8 viewers.
No, 14.
14 viewers. Yeah, okay, so that's not bad. We're picking up like 3 viewers a day.
We're kicking
3
ass.
viewers a show, you know?
We're kicking ass, dude.
I think maybe if La Pilota was, you know, to not have a shirt on, we might have a stronger opportunity to pick up 15 or 16 viewers. I mean, I think Mark would agree. He'd show up on time, and he'd be here filming on time. He'd be like, I'm in, I'm ready. So, Usually, a furry fox today, she's back in work mode. So as you can see, very, very hardworking. She put on her helmet and she's ready to go. So Timepiece Trading, what we said, and just to be clear,
And I'll throw it out so people can remember.
We said there were rumors. Rumors. We didn't accuse them of anything.
There were rumblings.
I said we were rumors heard in the industry, because I've been in the watch industry longer than these guys. And there were rumors that they were giving people the ability to fake buying watches. Somehow they turned this into, we're not renting watches, which was not what we ever said. So what did that mean? We said that we had heard from individuals who had actually done this, that they had gone there and taken a watch, pretended to buy it, basically at that moment, done some social media at the moment, buying it, sounding like they have a big dick. And then from there, not actually leaving with the watch. So paying just for the sake of renting that time at that moment, pretending to buy a watch. Now, we've seen this when influencers are going on fake airplanes.
Yeah.
They're either renting a plane that doesn't leave the ground, or
it's not a real plane.
Right, or not a real plane, or it's a studio or whatever, and they're doing ads. No problem. Like, this is common bullshit, fake it till you make it type personality. But we know that there are people who have, again, this is the part where it gets shaky. The rumors are this is happening because we have had people tell us this is happening who have been the ones that have paid to do this. The second part that I think is interesting in this is that the people that said they had done this never actually were seen again with the watches they had supposedly bought that day, which I found weird. Like, let me tell you this. So if I'm walking in to buy a $400,000 watch, okay? And
what do you got on right now? Show the camera.
This is open work rainbow frosted yellow gold. This is like the final boss level of AP. So let's say I have I'm going in pretending to buy this watch. And then all you see me on every day is wearing a Datejust outside of that day. Like, you'll never see me again. Not at an event, not in my studio, not in another ad, not in another video. You have to question, like, if I'm a watch guy and if I'm fronting or if I'm there to get attention, then why aren't I using that idea? Like, it's the same idea that to say that idiot Ethan would have bought that car but never used it on social media.
Yeah.
Like, you never saw it again. So if he did a video that he pretended to buy the car and then you never saw the car driven again, ever again.
He ain't got that car.
Well, you would be like, well, where's the car? Like, but if you see him fronting with like a base Lambo, you would be like, well, you're fronting already. So why wouldn't you be fronting with a Lamborghini? Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you be fronting with a Bugatti if you have one? Correct. Well, the only reason you don't is because you don't have it. So the watch thing's kind of the same thing. Like, you can look like you got a big dick walking in and buying like an open work skeleton, even a base like 100K stainless watch. But then if no one's ever sees you with it ever again, and then you have a Datejust on every single day, well, you got to start questioning what happened to the watch. Like, why did you buy it to begin with?
Correct.
Like, okay, if you flipped it, then where's the next one you're flipping? There's so many things.
Where'd you produce?
Yeah, like, so it's just so many of these like inconsistencies. And I also thought it was really interesting that they defended this with so much fear. Like, I didn't understand like why this required, especially because I was very kind and I said these are rumors. Yeah. And we weren't actually going after them, so I thought this was.
You gave him the opportunity. Like, we didn't.
Well, no, we just said like, hey, there's rumors, this is happening. We hope it's not like real, because too bad. Like, they're selling watches over there. Hopefully, it's good. But I'm just saying, like, the inconsistencies are inconsistent. Like, so it doesn't matter.
I think that they thought we were coming after these. Like, no, these are real. We know these. Like if Kaisanat comes up and pulls up with, like, we get it.
You'd be surprised. I don't agree with that either. No, I don't.
I
don't necessarily think that makes it real. So don't forget this. There are plenty of wealthy people caught with fake watches
all the time.
Why?
I had a very, very, very wealthy person one time 10 years ago tell me, he goes, if you have one real one, they'll never question the rest.
Exactly. So here's the other argument. Like, why, for them, if they don't have the cash, I'm not saying they don't have some kind of money coming in, but they don't have $1 million to allocate to watches or $600K to allocate to a watch, or they're always in bad company anyways, and they don't even care. It helps for the clout, but they're not really interested in the watch.
Correct.
So what they'll do is, it's cool to be in photos, to look like you're blowing a ton of money. But it's not real. There's another clip going on with that guy 69. I don't know rap or anything. It's like
Tekashi.
I don't know.
That
He's
guy?
a weird little short guy. With
The one that went to jail
chains
and
and
shit,
stuff. Yeah, with really weird colors. So he was recently doing a video. I think it's on his page where he's like, I got $1.5 million in watches in my hand. That I'm like, I'm looking at his watches. It ain't fucking $1.5 million fucking dollars. It's all iced out bullshit, like fake. Shitty fucking RM iced out shit. That's like maybe $150 a pop, $200 at most a pop. So yeah, like 4 watches. I was like, that's cool. Like cool story. That's like $700K, assuming they're real. There's no way to know it without looking at them up close. Because even replicas are really good these days, to the point where it's so good that I'm not saying they're moving replicas. I'm saying generally replicas are so good, you can buy really good RM replicas that are near impossible to detect unless you take the watch apart. And we're talking about 10 grand. So would a person spend 10 grand and never have to, be doubted by someone, over spending 300 grand? Probably, because it's marketing money. That's how you have to think about it. But a guy saying he's got $1.5 million in watches when clearly, even if his watches were real, they'd be 600 grand. It's just a very it's the character flaw. So it's the character flaw that brings you back to the whole idea that it just doesn't add up. And when it doesn't add up, it tells you that they're not interested in really competing in wealth. They're interested in comparing themselves to poor people who will glorify what they have because they don't understand how to value it. It's no different than the guy that drives around an $80,000 Gallardo, but nobody knows it's $80,000 because poor people don't know what things cost and they don't understand what a Lamborghini costs. So in their head, it's $300K because it's got a Lamborghini badge. That's why women go fuck guys with Lamborghinis more than Range Rovers, but Range Rovers are more expensive than Lamborghinis.
An autobiography is like $250,000, right?
But what I'm saying is they don't know that. So this is a good example of again, just the how people misconstrued wealth as an opportunity to create marketing when in reality it isn't really there. And again, maybe some of these people have bought 1 watch, 2 watches. I don't know who half of these people are because I don't watch sports or anything else. But all I'm trying to say is that some of these conversations and some of these pretend situations are very common in Miami. I just didn't understand the need for TPT to defend this with such thing when we never even talked about renting watches. We never even said, hey, they're doing this. We said there's a rumor floating around. They really took it personally. So all I'm saying is I don't know it's worth pursuing or getting receipts, but I'm saying this is something that just people have to realize. The character flaw carries across other things. So just be careful what you fall for, regardless that they're leasing space time or at that moment or a watch for the day or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, so what else do we have outside of the clown show? You guys figure this out?
Getting into business, there was a huge deal over the weekend. Netflix put in a $72 billion bid to buy Warner Brothers.
We were talking about this earlier. I just don't understand why they're just not happy making billions each year and call it a day. Why do they need a large sum of money at once? What's the point?
You're not already making that kind of cash?
Yeah, why don't you just cross-pollinate content, sell it, and get a bigger subscription base and just make money?
Deals like this is I remember back in the 90s, the courts got into it, AT&T. Remember they broke up AT&T, that became
FTC,
Singular, T-Mobile, and all that bullshit because of monopolies. I think we're headed right back towards that.
That's why I think they're going to try to stop it unless he gets greased on the back end.
Always, someone's getting greased.
Yeah, that's always how it works. But yeah, so I don't really care because I only watch Netflix if there's something on Netflix. So I don't really give a shit.
That's another thing.
Stranger Things was great though.
Stranger Things was really good.
So far, so good. So
how do you feel about it? Let's have a little conversation about that one.
So far, so good. I'm really excited about the ending. It's good when it's really, really good when they end shows. Meaning they don't keep him dragging 14 seasons. They just fucking end it. Because at some point, you're going to lose cast. You're going to lose interest. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose stories. It's just too much. But the better, I think the more exciting thing about, Stranger Things has been a long time, but at least they're ending it so far anyways, because we haven't seen the finale.
They have to. You see the kid?
They're ending it in a way that, so far doesn't seem they're shortcutting it. Because Game of Thrones, they fucked that up. It wasn't a Netflix thing, season. But... I think in the history, and people are like, "Oh, are you watching the Dragon Run?" I'm like, "Fuck the Dragon Run." They were giving them 5 minutes of time or free shit after they fucking killed that ending.
They fleeced you.
Yeah, it was like, what
That
is
was
this?
bad.
Like fucking it was like
When-
woke culture, like fucking guy
There's
in,
not even winter's coming,
in like
and
what
then
the
it's like-
1700s or whatever fuck
it was
that was.
fucking
It's like,
stupid.
it's
The
just
ending was so dumb.
so dumb.
Like when it ended, the collectiveness was like that was retarded.
Yeah, it's like, did you like run out of money or like?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we wanted to work on a different show. It's like, oh, okay, so we all wasted 12 years watching this shit, so you could go work on a different show. And what's the next show? Oh, it's the same show. It's the beginning of it. Wow, so even better than now the ending's that fucked up. That
We're
makes
gonna
sense.
do this for 10 more seasons.
Yeah, just morons.
But yeah, you get this, and then recently while we were driving into the office, we don't know what's gonna happen now because Paramount is preparing something worth like $10 billion more.
But I don't think it even matters. I think 10 years ago they said, the game of TV was going to go to the game of streaming. Between Amazon and all these places trying to, like Disney, killing it.
They're
and
all
this,
owning one.
everyone's
everything.
trying to take the market share for this game. I mean, it is what it is. I just say not every deal is worth giving a shit about. I don't know that my life changes if Netflix goes up $5.
It's probably
down, has more shows, less shows. Do I cancel something out? I really don't give a shit. It's just not that exciting. What was really problematic, though, is that the U.S. saw huge layoffs recently. I don't know if you saw that headline.
Yeah,
I think 1 million plus people.
1.1 million mark in 2025, the highest level since the pandemic. The thing about that is like the joke that you made last week is like, how's the job report? We don't know because we fired the guy who gives the job report. But then it comes out anyway, and you have 1.1 million layoffs in the first year that this guy's in off. Like,
well, you know what they say. Like, I think the point of government, in the sense when you don't like news, is out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's trying to target. It's out of sight, out of mind when it based on the people that it matters to, right?
Okay.
So if you don't have a job reports guy, it's out of sight, out of mind because the people that watch for official job reports don't care and they don't watch TV anyways. So you have these. It's just a very interesting dynamic of what the government's become in the U.S. We'll see how it stands, with the midterms. We'll see how it stands the next couple of years, but it's definitely not. I think there's a lot of good things Trump's done. I also think he's fucked up a lot of stuff, and I don't know that this is. I mean, he's gonna try to deny responsibility, but unfortunately, the economy is what it is.
Yeah.
That people like it or not, that you like the guy or you don't like it, it's a disaster. But it's again self-inflicted. There was a lot of that stuff with the tariffs that's still pending in the courts to see what's going to happen. So a lot of this stuff is definitely going to be very, very interesting over the next couple of months.
I mean, this ties into the next topic. 1.1 million layoffs, meaning people don't have any money to buy shit, and homes are being delisted at a record rate.
So delisting and there is a legitimate issue. So there's two massive problems with this, and it has nothing to do with just that people are getting laid off. So having a realtor to sell your home has now become super useless.
Elaborate.
Super useless. The only thing realtors do is usually just attract people to your home.
A marketer.
Right, like they market your home because you can't take photos, you can't take video. But now we have access to photos, videos, listing places, and everything. And I think the real estate industry is going through this gigantic thing, which is basically what the car industry went through when Auto Trader became a thing, where everyone can now see and list their own cars and see their own stuff, and like see stuff from across the U.S., and it's just much easier. And I think the fee structures of like realtors just don't make any sense depending on their expertise levels. So I think what's going to happen is this is going to be a purging. Like the next few years will be a purging, and AI will replace the majority of like new coming real estate guys who are not really committed to the trade, but just couldn't find a better job somewhere. They're just not good salespeople. They don't. I mean, but that's reality.
That's
like
Miami.
Well, yeah, but the majority of real estate people are either stay-at-home moms and wives, or in Miami they're like hot whores. Like basically that just can give head to fucking turnover like contracts. I'm just being honest. This is true. So, and then in LA, it's almost the same thing. It's like the
Just LA.
overly happy. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, same thing in California. So wherever you have good-looking people, they use that to kind of get in. That's why whenever you see Selling Sunset or any of these fucking real estate shows, tell me how ugly the crews on those are. They're not.
Beauty's currency.
Exactly. Like they're not. Like it's the same thing,
That's a
right?
shirt.
Yeah, I mean, look at all of them. They're all about good looks and position, and that's fine. But I'm saying that idea when you're selling super high real estate, sure. But when you're starting to sell like little homes and $1 million
Medium
homes,
homes, yeah.
like it just doesn't pay off anymore. And I think people are going to realize that. And I also think there is a really large, and we talked about this before too, where people aren't going to be able to move just because the cost of moving is now astronomically
insanity,
higher.
dude.
And remember, this is the big thing. Taxes are the reason for that.
Yeah.
Because when you bought a house from, let's say, 10 years ago, you were capped at a certain tax rate or in certain areas, right? But then when you're not in that house and you go buy a new house, well, you're now subject to the new sales price and the tax on that sales price, which is usually astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you might get the same rate or something decent or move into a bigger home, the cost basis is not proportionate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had, for example, $1 million home and you were paying $8,000 a month based on 2018 pricing, now $2 million is not costing you
14,
it's costing you like 25. So now there's like a larger gap to get to the same slightly more proportional thing.
Yeah.
And so even selling your home doesn't change the auxiliary cost of everything else that you were basically grandfathered in and now you're not. So I think that people are realizing now that it doesn't really make sense. And I don't think the government has to do anything about it, but I think that there is a lot of tax laws that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like property tax laws need to be capped better across the U.S. so that if you are moving to a new house, you can carry that and so on and so forth. But
Well, people get screwed. I was reading the other day that's one of the biggest things. Like, you can have your house paid off, all this bullshit, and then somebody comes in and buys a house up the street or builds a house up the street
and it
for
completely
10 mil,
changes your
and it fucks your property tax.
Exactly, and it completely changes. Yeah,
And it forces you to move because
it
now,
forces poor people out of neighborhoods.
Mhm.
I've seen this time and time again. It's like you get better quality people that make more money. They build nicer houses, and the old houses and guys that wanted to die in their houses can't even afford the HOA, the insurance. They can't afford because when you have like 40 people in a neighborhood and you have 20 of them are good, they're average people, then you have 10, let's say 10 that are like super wealthy and 10 that are poor. Well, over time, now you have 30 rich people. The 10 that are poor are like, well, I can't afford to move because I want to stay around here because it's convenient. But at the same time, the richer people are like, well, we want more security. We want this. So they outvote the 10. And the 10 are basically like, well, I can't afford to live here.
you
If it's
have to go.
$1,000 a month for an HOA. Well, that HOA is used to be 100. Now it's 1,000 because
there wasn't
we're
one.
all willing to pay for it, and it is what it is. And that person ends up getting kicked out of their own home. So
that is
unfortunate.
an unfortunate circumstance of things that are going to.
But how it works.
Keeping in business, Trump is proposing to slash fuel efficiency standards for passenger cars. There was a bunch of things that were put into place during the Biden administration, mostly climate sensitive, regulations and whatnot. But it did piss the auto manufacturers off because they want to they want to make as much money cutting as many corners as possible, and that's one of the ways they can make the most money with the bullshit, the EPAs and the gas mileages of cars. So Trump is thinking of rolling them back, so the manufacturers are salivating at the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, this is normal. We called this a couple of years ago too in talks where we said electric cars are not the future.
No.
They're the future of transportation. They're not the future of driving.
No.
These are two completely different things. So maybe your buses will be electric. Maybe
Cops.
your taxis, your
State
those
vehicles.
things may be more electric in nature. But
Things that spend more time on the road.
generally, I don't think it's the answer for anything else. And I think that there has been this war between like manufacturers and government to go to
long
this
time.
direction. And I think this has been in the Western world.
Yeah.
Primarily because of his dependency on oil that he wants to get rid of. So it has no real need for the Middle East anymore.
Correct.
So that I think has been a very large push. And I think now even the EU, if I recall, has removed that.
The
So they're also
2035,
going
yep.
back, like they're not sticking to the California idea. Because that was originally introduced by California, I think, by 2035. And then the EU also
I
jumped
see,
on the
I see
bandwagon.
car ban, yeah.
Yeah, so
But it doesn't make it's like now this happens and we say all the other manufacturers are rolling all those EV plans back so damn fast.
but because EVs suck, like
does.
they're just terrible. Like the pedal feels off. There's no real like driving dynamic.
There's
It's
no
just terrible.
experience.
Yeah, it's no experience. But if you're in a Kia, it might make sense because it's slightly faster. It might have more tech, and you might be more entertained, and it might drive itself. But
you
no
don't get-
one in a Ferrari wants to get driven by the Ferrari.
Yeah, but you don't get those Teslas, you don't get anything in them. There's like a Kia whatever
That's
has
the
more.
point is it's for transportation. So if the car can eventually auto drive itself, so you don't really care because you're just auto driving. So you're just like, I need all the tech I can to watch movies or do whatever. What else would you do on a 2-hour road trip?
True.
So that's the problem. So they're really good for transportation and nothing else. Do we have anything exciting to talk about cars?
Koenigsegg hints at a more affordable supercar after hiring Gordon Murray's former CEO. Now, there's going to be two sides to that. So Koenigsegg obviously only makes cars that are fucking expensive
for no reason because they're always broken.
And they get into arguments with people on the internet and get made to look like assholes. So all this money, what's the average cost of an egg?
Like $3 million.
$3 million bucks.
Yeah, 2 points on it.
So what would quote unquote affordable?
I don't know, maybe like $1 million Senna competitor.
You know,
maybe like $1.5 million. I mean that would be a huge entry for them because obviously SVJs are $1 million bucks and a lot of cars. There is a significant, just so you know, there's a significant void in the marketplace for hypercars between $1 million to $3 million. Like, there's really nothing that's really good. The Senna is the only thing like around the $1 million mark. Now it's like $1.2 million, $1.3 million, whatever for normal cars. But this is the only thing really that's like reliable in that range until you get to like the 2 mil plus with the Bugattis and stuff. So like, and when I said 2 mil plus, I mean like 2.5, 3 million. So you have a huge void between 1 to 2.5, like huge, where many manufacturers could play. And Aston, I always praise Aston for doing this, but the Valhalla is a perfect example.
So
$1.3 million.
Nailed it.
Like kind of middle level car that's like, hey, this is way more epic than your average, whatever, like Vanquish / SVJ. But here it is, it's like in that mid range where the Senna plays. And it's really, I think, underplayed in market. I think more manufacturers should have cars in that realm.
But then the thing is, we have all our complaints about the
well, I
quality
wouldn't buy their shit if it was $1 million or $10 million.
That's what I'm saying. If we have all these things to say about these $4 million cars, what are we going to have to say about the $1 million
Listen, their cars look fantastic. Yeah. There's not a fucking ounce. But this is the large problem for people who actually have enough money to buy these things. Here's how we think. I drive my car maybe like 15 times a year, which is like 15 different places a year.
Correct.
That's not that many places. I put like 1,000 miles in my car.
Maybe.
For those 1,000 fucking miles, I don't want it to be in the shop. And for that one time I decide to drive my car, which is maybe unpredictable, that one Saturday, that one Tuesday, that one whatever the fuck is going on that day, I don't want my car in the shop. I don't want to start it. I don't want to go down to someone's party, park it, and then it won't start again or something happens. So it's just not an option. And so a lot of times, like, manufacturers may not understand this, but like, that's enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm not buying it. And then secondary market values are also super important when putting $3 million in a car, because you're not going to make a ton of money on a car, but you got to make sure you're like steady and like your car's holding. I've driven my Bugatti for like 3.5 years. I get offers for the exact same dollar I've paid on the car. Okay, so it's 3.5 years. It's cost me $10K a year in maintenance. That's it. Okay, that's fantastic. That's great fucking car. That's why people are like, why don't you buy a Pagani instead of a Bugatti? And I'm like, I like my Bugatti, and it doesn't fucking break, and it's great. Like, that's the way a car should be, and I think that's really important.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing. We'll see where that goes.
But I think Gordon Murray for them will be good.
Yeah, because can you imagine what's going to come out of there with like that kind of
Because I think someone that like understands how car manufacturing works better and like how to bring forward experiences might help them not get into pissing contests on Instagram.
Sometimes the savant is not the person you want in charge.
Yeah.
You don't want the genius, the crazy.
Yeah. And listen, he's talented. He's built some very good looking cars. Very, very good looking. If they work, they're even better, but at least they look good.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the next topic, we got the Toyota. You say it's ugly.
That's gay.
I love this shit.
Super gay.
This shit is so awesome.
Super gay. This is what the Supra should have been.
Yes.
This is what the Supra should have been.
But then they couldn't sell it because no one's going to pay $120,000 for it.
Well, they would have.
You think so?
I think if they would have called this the Supra and they would have fucking made it look like that, it would have sold better than that $30,000 piece of shit they put out with a fucking Z4 chassis. And I don't know what the fuck that was.
Z4 chassis.
But this would have been a proper successor to the Supra.
You think so?
Well, the used Supras are like $100,000. So
that's true, yeah.
And the other thing people don't realize too, like a lot of people don't pay attention to shit. They think that old Supra owners, like they're like the guys that bought the Supras, there's the new generation of Supra owners. No. There isn't. No, it's the same fucking guys buying the same shit. Like all of us buying Ferraris were the guys driving Honda Civics. The new kids ain't driving fucking Honda Civics on like 15-inch Volks lowered and fucking put Tanabe race exhaust. Remember that spoon engines? That's not their era anymore.
Hector is going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines.
So the guys in Lamborghinis today are the same Integra guys, Mustang guys, and Corvette guys from back in the day, the C5s and all that shit. So this stuff, when people are like, well, it's $100,000, who's going to buy $100,000 Toyota? The same fucking guy that has $100,000 Supra now would buy this shit. But they wouldn't, like, it's just, I don't understand why they fucking made that Supra. so ugly and so fucking tiny and made it for basically poverty. They were like, oh, the Supra is the most iconic car in the world. We'll give it to the poor status and just drive it, and maybe we'll put a manual in it, and it'll still be a Z4 with a manual, and you'll pay like 60 grand for it.
It costs the same. I think right now, dollar for dollar, the most expensive Supra in like 97. That's what it costs right now. So like even they didn't even put it in the right market.
That's what I'm saying. It's just stupid.
It was unattainable, but it was
stupid.
unattainable in 1996 because 40 grand was
but it's
80 grand.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be attainable now. It's your premium like rare car. Like the LFA was a good example. Fine, it flunked whatever, but now it's fucking selling for like 3 times MSRP.
But then did it flunk? It was too ahead of its time at the time.
It just wasn't necessary for them. Like a lot of times, same with manufacturers like Lamborghini, when they put a hypercar out, it doesn't do anything way better than the regular car.
Yeah.
It's a baseline for the future of every car that comes out. But a lot of this stuff like will go into future Toyotas. You know, like if they launch this,
They'll start looking like this.
Yeah, they'll start looking like they'll have the headlights from this, they'll have the brakes from this or whatever, you know. Good looking car, but I think Lexus did an LFA that looks better than this.
Well, the thing is that they have another concept coming out, but this is
And
just
I called it, I think, the Lexus LFA. Just so you know, the Lexus LFA successor is all electric. We did a story on this where they said it was going to be half hybrid, half electric.
okay, yeah, that was before.
That was before, and now the new concept they're saying is fully electric. And I called it that day. I said they're going to scrap this and they're going to go fully electric because the Japs are gay. Why are you laughing? I'm just saying the Japs are fucking gay.
Every episode, you break Mark at least one time.
I'm just saying it's just unnecessary. Like
Every episode.
they have small penises, so they don't have that big American exceptionalism, like thinking they're like, you know, they have 2-inch cocks. They use their 2-inch cocks well. Americans have 6-inch cocks, and they think they got 14-inch
5.4.
cocks. Yeah, because there's just a couple of them are there. Mark's dying over there because from Spain, apparently, they fucking have cucumber-sized cocks. But I'm just saying that this particular car is I think this isn't a hybrid. This is like a mixed hybrid.
It's
like
a V8 twin turbo,
but it has
with
an
a
actual
hybrid,
motor.
yeah.
Exactly. And the Lexus one, which will be like the luxury one, will be super gay.
I don't think they'll make it though.
You don't think they'll make the concept?
No, I think they're just gonna stick with this because they gave us for the release of this. Normally they'll give us the car, and then the next year they'll give us the cool version, and then the next year they'll give us the race car. They gave us everything in one shot, everything. So I think this is just their plan.
Well, I mean, let's hope it's better to have this as a non-electric car than the Lexus electric car.
It's an experience, like you kept saying. And then talking about shit that's ugly, Jaguar's design boss was escorted out of the building by security.
That's not. I don't think that's the guy that said he drove a Mustang. Is it?
No,
but,
it was just the guy.
I think
who
that was
designed
the
this
CEO.
thing.
Yeah,
That's the CEO. This is the guy who designed it.
But they should have taken that CEO and tossed his ass out.
Shot him in the back.
Yeah, whoever says their 3 dream car garage would be a fucking Mustang is gay. Like
a Mustang, a 911.
not even like something that's like amazing. You know, it's like not even saying like, oh, I want a 911 like GT2 RS or Courage GT. It's like, what's your dream garage? Tell me you have zero aspirations for anything in the world, so you'd like a base Mustang V8 so you can feel American power between the legs? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not even welcomed on the fucking any show for any reason. You shouldn't even be allowed to give a microphone to speak at your like Christmas dinner. You know?
Damn.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like,
grandma's house?
Yeah, there's like, can you imagine like someone coming in that company and being like, I'm the new intern. What do you aspire to be? Fucking not that guy. Like, fuck
Not
that
that
guy. Yeah, like.
So they walked him out of the building with his stuff in his little box
Yeah.
and everything. And then the fucked part about it, this is why the internet is so like ass backwards sometimes. Like we hate shit and then we hate it so much that we turn around and start loving it. They fire him, and then the other dude was driving the actual car around Europe, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, look at that thing!" I was like, "You guys are just ragging on this shit."
No, but Europe's different than the US. They get impressed very easily for really dumb shit. No, I'm serious. Like, yeah, I've been all over Europe. It doesn't take much to
We
impress.
do American exceptionalism
Yeah,
so
but listen,
well.
America is not like, it has a lot of things that you take for granted until you go out of the country. Like when you're like, oh, the car scene and like yeah, there is really nice cars in Switzerland, in the richest part of Switzerland, but not at the numbers that there are in 3 blocks of Miami.
Not even close.
Yeah, so all of Switzerland doesn't have as many on the street cool cars.
As Las Olas.
Yeah, exactly. Then like 1 block of fucking Miami downtown. So it's just like a different place in America. Like, and we're used to different standards of things. And we just take this shit for granted. So like we just think like, oh, whatever. And SVJ, like these guys in Europe, like they see an SVJ, it's like, holy shit, that's like the holy grail of like we see this shit every corner. We're like, what color? Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, this color is not 101. I'm not buying this car. And there's another guy that's like, I would die to sit in this car. You know, like, so this stuff, I actually thought, originally I thought this was one of the ugliest cars they ever put out. And they made a lot of mistakes with Basel because they put this out during Basel. Their whole goal was to wow, the paint. If they fucked it up.
Oh shit, it's been a year already.
Yeah. So the story behind this though is if you look at their new prototype concepts for the new versions of Jaguar, it looks nothing like this. And it looks really fucking good.
So
I just think
for
whoever the designer marketer is, they should have both been fired because this was just a really bad execution on bringing out a really good idea, just executed really, really poorly with no context and just like trying to shock the world in a way that just didn't work out. It's like if you had a really big plan behind it and you were like, this is really going to revolutionize the world. Well, they did, but nobody knew about it. So it was just this fucking thing they put out, and they were like, here's a gigantic pink car you can drive around. And people are like, what the fuck is this? And nobody wants it. But if you actually look at the new Jaguar XJ designs, like they're very, very pretty. You can see the idea they took from this, but it doesn't look anything like this. So it actually looks very Maybach-ish and very exciting. So I don't understand the idiot that just launched this car. Like they should have rethought the whole. They should not have been at Basel. This is why not a lot of good things happen in Basel. I try to avoid it every year.
Let's have a real quick conversation about that. Basel, like the thing about Basel is like I know so many people. I've been seeing other people on social coming into Miami, causing a ruckus, making our traffic fucking terrible. But it's like Basel now is not what Basel was 10 years ago. I used to love to go down there.
Nothing now is what it was 10 years
ago. They ruined
ago.
everything.
Yeah,
everything's fucked. But like
even porn was better 10 years ago.
Porn was so much better 10 years ago.
Yeah, so much better.
But it's like Basel 10 years ago was like Miami people would go. We would go, cool, see cool art. My friends would be displaying at places and that and this and that. And it was awesome. And now it's just like it's a corporate playground.
But what was SEMA? Same thing.
Same thing.
SEMA used to be really good. We used to get really excited. Now half the shit's released 3 weeks before SEMA. Like, come see it at SEMA. Motherfucker, I'm looking at a picture. Why do I need to fly over there to see it?
You just you put it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like you
save me $1,000.
You send 14 updated close-up photos of it. I don't need to look at it
anymore. And a YouTube video.
Yeah, and I don't need to see it anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, come and see it in person. No, fuck that. Like, why would I go there, park my shit, take 13 fucking hours to get through a line, and only to get there and be like, wow, it looked better in the photo. I should have stuck to the photo.
The drive shaft's not connected.
Yeah, and the photo was great. Like, you had some good photographer that edited properly. Looked fucking great. Yeah.
Oh, my God, bro. So McLaren is considering in the future making track mode GPS-based so it only works at racetracks.
Again, more control.
And if any manufacturer was going to do it, I would say it's them because they're the tech one. Everything in McLaren is very computer tech and nerdy based. If it works. When it works. Like the door handle and MP4. Yeah. Great car to drive if you can get in the car.
Yeah. I mean, I've been stuck inside a 720S. I couldn't get out of the car. I had to get out through the window.
Dude, I remember.
The door was fucked.
I forgot who it was. They told me to go shoot the MP4, like take it for the weekend. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I'm standing in front of my house for like 10 minutes. I was like,
yeah, nothing happens. Yeah.
That stupid door won't fucking open. Yeah. But they're trying to make it so that GPS determines that you're on the track. Now, like you said, control. Do you think this is going to deter buyers like you or like?
I mean, I don't drive in track mode anyways because I'm too big of a pussy. I'm not a track driver. Like I'm honest about it.
You honestly know very little about cars.
Yeah, I really don't. I know how to put it in track, but then as soon as it says traction control, if I'm like, no, put it back. I don't want to die. Yeah, I've crashed when I was a kid. I crashed a lot of cars being an idiot without the rear differential, just not knowing what to do. But as I got older, I just respect cars enough where I'm like, I'm not in the street. There's nothing sport mode doesn't do.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like Playboy mode versus porn star mode. These are like you can do the double anal, but you don't need it all the time.
Correct.
Right? Like you do it once in a while. No, not getting over your head there. Not okay.
No, I got it.
Anyways, so you can only do the softcore shit in the street anyways because you can't go drifting and shit.
Because you get arrested.
Well, depending on where you live, yeah, most likely.
How much money you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I could almost understand it for the bigger models. So like, you would never want to put your car in track mode on Congress Avenue because
I don't think it's any better than sport mode. If you have the exhaust valve that can open, you have the exhaust.
Well, I'm saying like with like the AV, like the traction control and all that shit, you're never gonna turn.
I don't
that
think
off.
it's necessary.
So like I get it like on the Senna, on the P1, other crazy race variants. cool. I get it because you don't want that thing doing track things in the street.
I mean, the
anyway.
Chiron kind of has the second key, so it's not just like a button, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to go 300, you never go 300.
True.
You know, so it doesn't matter.
Where
you know,
you're
like,
gonna go 300.
Yeah,
but it's like,
so-
where do you think this translates into? Do you think it hurts or helps sales? anymore?
No, I think if you're doing it for real track cars, they were already heading this direction. We're making the Solus and some of these track intensive cars, so I don't think it matters. I don't think it prevents normal people from buying the shit. And I don't think nobody cares.
And then the last one that I got, because it's very to you,
Yeah,
because we've been waiting
it's
on this thing
coming
to get.
soon, hopefully.
We keep saying it's coming.
Well, I think it's pink, so it needed
Yeah.
to get through an approval of, they were like, oh God, is this guy like fruity? And they were like, I don't know, let's look up his Instagram.
This was a mistake. Did
yeah,
you send
yeah,
this by
yeah.
mistake?
Did you do that? Yeah.
No,
So
I
I think
didn't.
they had to go to 14 approvals of conversation to get my car.
Mr. Ford himself. So they're telling GTD owners once they receive the cars that they should let the car sit for 30 days so that the paint can cure because
they
you
can
don't want
PPF it,
because you don't want to drive the car without PPF, which I understand
Mhm.
because like the point that you make about the Lanzante versus the Bug.
Yeah.
To buy a Bugatti bumper, you've said it. You can. The rock chip shit happens, but on a Lanzante where they only made
Yeah, when you have a Pagani or
Yeah,
some crazy one of
something
one car,
rare
it has
off
to
of
go
this.
to a much deeper kind of model, and it's much harder to get the parts. This is going to be easy to get parts
I
from.
think so.
Yeah,
Is this a
super
Mustang?
easy. I think
Okay.
they're gonna support this for the next it's new. That's the difference. So I think this is good. I'm really excited about my car. Believe it or not, I have an affinity towards Mustangs. I think they're really good looking cars.
You had one. What
yeah.
color was yours?
Growing up when I was a kid, I had a lot of different Mustangs. That's all I could afford.
But even
But I
still,
also didn't go racing Corvettes, and
Or
I didn't think that
kill
when I
people at
could
car
buy a
shows?
Corvette, it was as good as a Ferrari. So I knew my place in the world. But my car cost over $500,000. So
That's
it's gonna be
crazy.
it's gonna be interesting to see because I have 150K in options, not just paint and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually delivers.
and every review that I've read or watched say that it is spectacular.
The GT3 RS was such a piece of shit that I'm just so excited to have something just to make a video to be like, oh, Ford fucking did it. Porsche couldn't do it. I never understood that GT3 story. I never understood why people like that car. I do agree it's a very good looking car if you get rid of the plastic. It's very good looking.
Yeah.
But I really hope they really rectify the issue of the car with the GT2 RS that's coming out. But I expect that to be $800,000 too.
I think the GT3 RS just became so popularized by the boy racer bullshit.
Yeah, but it wasn't that popular before.
No,
meaning the
it's like in the last-
991 wasn't
No.
really the 992 really
Jumped
hit
it
for-
off.
Yeah,
Well, the 991.2, that GT3 RS
but
that
it
came in
wasn't
the lizard green and shit, I think that's where it started because that's where the car that I started. That's the GT3 RS that we saw the most of. Even
yes,
the
correct.
997s,
Yeah, correct,
we never
correct.
see
It was
those
the more
cars.
popular streamlined GT3 RS.
We never saw the old ones, and now those 991.2s are
And
everywhere.
992s look really good. They're very wide and they have the big wing and shit, which is cool. It's cool, but I just don't see I just never understood after I had my car for 2 weeks, I thought it was a piece of shit. I tried everything. I put exhaust, headers, tune. I fucking redid the cage. I did the plastic off. I was somehow. It's like doing 15 pieces of plastic surgery to a chick, hoping to take her from a 5 to a 10, and it just fucking does.
6.3.
It ends up at a 6, and you're like, fuck it, get it out of here. Yeah.
Boy. But it's objectively speaking, the GT3 Touring is a way better car.
No, that's way prettier.
Way
And
better
even the
car.
911 ST is good looking. I don't know, where they went.
I don't know
wrong
where
with
the fuck
that
they were going with that. We got
Cars,
2
yeah.
logos this
Yeah.
week. They make the logo that we showed at the beginning of the episode look so shitty because these are
Really?
way better. Yeah, I think they're better. I'm not saying that they're we out here with the hottest shit
We
since
really
we've ever
gotta
seen.
figure out what to do with that background. That's fucked up.
This week's logo.
I thought you guys were bad, but I think the guys that are you sure when we got 14 viewers, they're not from India or something?
I don't know, man, because it doesn't let us see that kind of information.
Probably one of the guys from Fiverr that were like, I wonder what this is.
It was
I
our
will
guy
go
from
look at this-
Fiverr.
I will go
Fucking
look at
guy.
this show on the television. It looks very nice.
You-
Yep.
Andrew is cracking up right now because you made that voice and we predicted you would make that voice today.
I'm just saying, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Please look at my art. It's
So-
$5.
PJ, you get first pick.
I fucking hate both. of
No,
them.
you don't. Come
I mean,
on.
that one at least got some colors on it and shit. I don't know what a row is, but okay.
I don't think
RO and
I don't think
why
that's.
there's
I
Celine
think that's
and
a
7.
revolution
But
counter.
you go to the number one. That might be a little bit better. With a Ferrari that looks so much.
That's not any
Yeah,
better.
but I think it's better than the other one. I think the other one was like, this is very complicated. I don't understand why nobody can make a logo. Like, I really don't get it. Like,
How are we going to behave when an actual good one comes through?
I'm just gonna be ecstatic to know. We'll know this is the right one.
So you go first.
Like, I mean, I definitely
That
take
one?
that. Yeah, I take that.
All
One.
right.
From between these two, I mean, what the fuck is this? Like, why did dots like look like fucking rainbow flag?
We
on
had 12 viewers. We're going to have 11 now because
Okay,
that
so
guy's
that
never
one's
going to watch
pissed.
again.
Well, I think that guy's internet got cut off because he barely can afford it. He's in India.
So I like this one too. We don't need a tiebreaker because you both picked that one.
Okay, so-
But Pilota, which one do you choose? Unanimous decision says
All right,
that this
so
is
one
our
going to
winner
the
for the
bracket.
week.
I don't think that one's gonna make it. But we'll go to the bracket.
This one makes
Yeah.
it to the bracket. So thank you guys for your submissions this week. There's going to be a link in the description for you guys to submit more logos and forms. Anything else you want to wrap up before we get out of here?
No, it's been another interesting week. If there are any topics you guys want us to cover, let us know in the comments. If
Yep.
there's anything that you want us to fuck you about or talk about,
Yep.
always happy to.
Link-
Otherwise, we'll
Link
catch
in
you
the
guys
bio.
next time.
See you guys next time.